I'm reading a great book right now by Simon Sinek called Start With Why. Go ahead and drop a comment if you've heard of this book and or have read it. And don't worry, I will be connecting this to the fragrance world shortly. In the book, the author uses several examples of successful and unsuccessful companies and people throughout history that either placed their focus in the right place and how that propelled their success, or didn't and how they suffered for it. Sinek discusses a concept known as the golden circle, which is essentially a layered approach of reason for pursuing anything. The book focuses around working within the circle from the inside out, that is, why, then how, and then what. This is the opposite sequence from how a majority of leaders or companies operate. It offers an explanation for long-term success, but the inherent nature of doing things for the long term typically includes investments and costs in the short term. These costs are simply unattractive to most people, and thus most people resort to short-term tactics to achieve short-term success that they hope will become long-term success. The most effective and easily applicable shortcut that most of us succumb to throughout our lives, and we don't even know it, is manipulation. Manipulation works because we believe that the experts, this could be mainstream marketing or mainstream influencers, might know more than we do. Manipulation works not because the experts are always right, but because we fear that we may be wrong. The problem with manipulations is that they do not breed loyalty. And to be clear, we're defining loyalty as when people are willing to suffer an inconvenience or pay some kind of premium to do business with you or follow you because they believe in your why more than your what. Manipulations cost more and more over time, and their gains are only short term. So you just have to keep manipulating. It's a stress-based model for both the buyer and the seller. Now, Sinek breaks down the golden circle in this very simple way. Why is a belief. The hows are the actions we take to realize that belief, and the whats are the results of those actions. Now, let's bring this back around to fragrance. Most mainstream fragrance brands and mainstream reviewers present the what's first, and that is the fragrance product, its features, and what these features could theoretically do for you as the reason why you should buy the products. Now, as we established, this is a manipulation, and it is highly effective, but it's ultimately unhelpful to the consumer, also known as the viewer, that's you, and it's difficult to sustain without redundancy and high costs for the seller, that is the brand or influencer. Now, how does all of this actually manifest in terms of YouTube fragrance content? Well, it's simple. Hundreds, if not thousands or more of videos that recommend fragrances that promise to drop panties, kill ladies, or get you compliments. If we put all of these videos together, there are hundreds of fragrances that can do all of these things. What makes any one of them any better than any other one of them? Now, how does this manifest in terms of the mainstream fragrance market? Well, once again, pretty simple. In the form of one redundant new fragrance release after another, which is usually just riding a trend, is a recycled idea, or is a slight tweak on a previous idea, which makes it marginally different from its predecessors. A mainstream fragrance brand's why is also very simple. It's to appease your short-term desires in exchange for your money, not to create loyalty. Now, once again, these are the whats, and as we established, the whats are attractive. That's why these videos are as popular as they are, and that's why these fragrances are as popular as they are. They're presented right here in front of you. You just grab them. Now, there's nothing inherently wrong with this outside-in approach other than the fact that it can affect those with less discernment and discipline, so that they will end up acquiring more than they actually need with no real personal reason. But I know you can see the long-term problem here. Again, what is the why? Why do these videos exist? Why do these fragrances exist? And why are these fragrances and topics important to you as a viewer and consumer? Well, one can easily surmise why they are important to influencers, because they benefit in the form of money and or notoriety. Now, this is of course just one side of the coin. There are many brands and figures out there that are not necessarily popular that do place their focus on the why. Now, I like to believe I am one of those people. This video is not going to get a ton of views, but I'm okay with that because this is what I want to say and I know why I want to say it. On a subconscious level, I'm always asking myself, does what I'm talking about and how I'm talking about it align with my values? If you have been watching my content for a period of time, I hope that my values are clear to you. If they're not clear to you, at this point in time, I can sum them up in 3 main points. Number 1, I want to spotlight the people and the companies on the market who promote innovation, artistry, and thoughtfulness, all within the bounds of what is practically applicable to your life. I'm not just talking about art for art's sake. Number 2, I want to authentically share with you which fragrances genuinely move me and which ones don't. I'm speaking from the lens of my own taste. That is the best I can actually offer you across all of my videos when it comes to fragrance recommendations. And finally, I want to encourage you as a viewer/consumer to be discerning and disciplined with your engagement with this hobby so that you are seeking what fulfills you first and that you are always in control of your actions. Spending money is easy. Asking yourself why you're spending money, that's the hard part. In conclusion, am I saying that focusing on the what versus the why is a matter of the bad versus the good? Subjectively, kind of. Objectively, of course not. Now, some will say that the way it is just the way of the world. And they're right. It is currently the way it is. What's popular is popular. But this doesn't necessarily make it healthy because there are many ways of the world that aren't actually any good for us nor the world. Can we change things consistently pursuing meaning here in the fragrance community on a broader scale? Probably not. But I can't imagine myself using this vehicle to do anything otherwise. I'll keep doing my part until the wheels fall off, and I appreciate those of you who appreciate me. I'd love to know what you think down in the comments. Thank you so much for tuning in. Peace. I'll see you in the next one.